country and then regions of the
You're good.
kind of stuff like that. Amp needs to do the same thing, and each chapter needs to be a franchise.
Right, but then you need to have.
Because we sign contracts.
Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of how you handle the leadership of that, because like in a franchise you got one, like one owner or.
We actually already do. We have two owners.
Like, I know, like for the whole of Amp, yes, but then each individual franchise has a community of its own, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. They have board of directors.
Yeah. Right, but therefore there is some level of organization that is permanent for that franchise. It's not like they're gonna, unless they sell it off or whatever.
No, actually, in corporations, what happens? So usually you'll have like permanent party on the board, but by permanent, that's like it's not really. So you have your CEO, and that can be voted in. In normal corporations, voted in by the board of directors, whatever in your bylaws.
Right.
So what you have in bylaws that we write,
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Each kingdom has an executive board, which we already have. The monarch and prime minister is the executive board of every kingdom.
Right.
So, and if you want to put the GMR there as like a third, that way it breaks ties. You know, you have to have 2 of the 3 kind of thing. Cool, got it. We're already kind of going that way. Then you have a board of directors. Okay. And the board of directors, you can make it where it doesn't. I mean, there are some kingdoms that already do this where it doesn't change, but every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then you.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I was doing some research into bank accounts for college.
Yeah.
Because we want the Northern Empire to have a bank account. It's a pain in the ass to send money to people.
I'm not wearing any garbage.
Oh yeah. It's one of the requirements that they have for a new kingdom. But in doing that research, I was talking to different people to see what they do for people.
Yeah.
A little harder too. Like,
Stings a little bit, yeah.
Bank accounts. And like Rising Winds, I found out they have their PMs for years. Just because of that reason. It reduces the amount of time that they change hands on the.
You just changed that last week.
Yeah, and I think it's smart. Like, it makes things
Changed it
really.
in November.
What
so.
you could do instead of that is make your treasurer separate, the BOD treasurer.
Yeah, that would be a
long
idea
term.
that's what Goldenvale does. The Prime Minister for Goldenvale doesn't actually have access to the money.
Yeah.
It's only the treasurer on the BOD, and that BOD member is a year term. But it's also been the same guy for.
Well, I mean that's unfortunately how you go.
Yeah, and I figure that
That's why
it
we have
makes
senators
sense.
that have been serving for 60 years.
Yeah, it makes sense for financial reasons, but it's just the idea of having the PM and the monarch having to get money to them. I feel like it would be a hassle.
It should be. No one person should be able to go get money.
I brought it down.
You should have petty cash, which is prime minister have, and then outside of that, no one person should be able to access the bank account. Because, I mean, it's happened lots of times. People will go and they'll get money. They'll be like, crap, and they'll go pay their rent or their, get hookers and blow. I don't know, whatever they're doing. But I mean, it sucks. I mean, Rising Winds, all their coffers actually, the prime minister car got broken into, and the coffers got stolen.
Right, and that's one of the other reasons why I'm banking.
Yes, very important. But yeah, I mean, having petty cash, the 10% that they can have petty cash be 20%, 10% for the prime minister, 10% for the monarch.
Right.
And then they keep receipts and all this shit like that. Cool. But outside of that, the treasurer should be handling it, because once we get to that amount of money, that's a mundane issue. Where the prime minister, yes, they kind of overlap, but they're still dealing with game issues, abortion rights and stuff like that. So, maybe the year. I'm not a fan of the year thing. I'm not a fan of it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm personally not a fan of the year. It's not a horrible system. I just think there are
Bring
other
your motherfucker.
Views. They do that because their money is handled by this person.
Yeah.
Like everywhere that has money handled by a person has that term be longer. Like we're talking about Goldenvale, their BOD member is a year long term.
Yes.
For Rising Winds, it just happens that their money is accessed by the PM, not the treasurer.
Yeah.
So therefore, their person is year long term.
No.
If I can put that
And hearing different ideas is good because I gotta make a presentation to people who are trying to get their kingdom together. So.
Yeah. And you should always have it be like it requires 2 to 3 signatures.
Yeah, for any withdrawal above a certain amount.
Invest in some sort of electronic signature technology. So,
Well, the other thing is we're restricted. The banks up north are not nearly as. I wouldn't call it high tech, but it's. I'm trying to think of the term. We don't have as much variety.
yeah.
Like if you're part of like Bank of Nova Scotia, we've got branches that are all over the country, like in every city, in every town. It's not like we have Bank of America where they've got like branches here and there, and then you've got like banks that are regional and like all this other stuff. We've just got like 3 or 4 or 5 major banks, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Good. That was a good fight.
But yeah, I mean, so the other thing, I would carve up the map, reassess it every year or two, and circle them on our team. And for mundane purposes, you still have the board of directors and stuff like that.
Just tell me what you want.
You have different franchises.
No.
Near the sliding glass door.
Those are happy
I'm never sure. People are like, oh my god, you pushed too hard.
It's
there.
You know.
I know. I know. What can I say?
He is a very pretty man. How are you asking me? What respect are you asking about?
It's very specific.
I helped with the core. Then you guys got Northern Empire, and I was like, who's that?
We rewritten the core.
You what?
We rewrote the core.
Okay.
The core that
I kind of assumed after like paradox and everything like that.
well, there was that, and Danwin is not. The discussion on that has kind of dropped out. They're also being
No head.
so when no, don't stop.
Can't do that backwards.
I am enjoying this. I haven't had a back rub in a long time. I want this,
Well.
but I must. Okay, so the core was written because the core that was released in the end was released too early.
Right.
We didn't really have a lot of time to test things out, try to get through it, so we ended up rewriting the core. I think it's a lot tighter. We're still finding errors because we always will.
Right. Core will always.
Yeah, exactly. Living document.
Make sure that if you expect something to happen, it is written in black.
Yeah. Well, and that's why our report.
Nothing assumed.
Yeah.
Please address how a subgroup can drop responsibly.
From your fucking
And
That's in there.
They have to tell.
That's in there. Yeah, so we do that. I mean, like, gaming in an individual is still fantastic. Calcross is still a lot of fun. Twilight Peak is still small and trying to rebuild themselves. The whole thing is... we've got tons of parts in the area. We've got probably...
I'm not that tall.
We've got, like,
I mean,
89
that short.
parts now, which is great. They're not all in the Empire because Bill has this 5 TAC submission thing before you can join a plurality.